Well, welcome everybody. Thank you, Lesley, for joining us today. I want to introduce everybody to Lesley Everett of Walking Tall Coaching and Brand Management. I'm Lori Martin with Monterey County Real Producers, and we're glad that you can join us for our first interactive Facebook conference. Lesley started Walking Tall over 17 years ago in the UK. 5 years ago, she and her family decided that life was too short to live in just one country, so they took the plunge and moved to Monterey. Lesley said that they've just bought a home and they're happily ensconced in East Garrison. So welcome, Lesley. Thank you for coming across the pond for us.
Thanks, Laurie. Glad to be here.
Good. So let me tell you a little bit about Lesley's career. She is an international professional speaker and a brand management specialist and coach. Her focus is on creating personality, authenticity, and differentiation in her client's professional brand with professional branding. She has presented her Walking Tall methodology in 26 countries across 5 continents. That's quite an accomplishment. She is a published author of 3 books, and some of her clients include notable businesses such as Salesforce, Oracle, HSBC, Deloitte, Marriott Hotels, and JetBlue. She also works with small businesses and entrepreneurs, charities, and associations. So that's quite a feather in our cap. I think those are all companies we can acknowledge. Lesley has appeared many times on television on BBC News, Sky Business, CNBC, CNN, CBS, and Bloomberg. She is the founder and CEO of Walking Tall Training and Consulting, based here in Monterey. And again, thank you, Lesley, for joining us. We're pleased to have you here.
Thank you, Laurie. I'm very pleased to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. So what we're finding in the real estate industry right now is that with the shelter-in-place mandates, realtors are having to find new ways to effectively reach their clientele, to do their jobs, not as typically done with that face-to-face touch with their clients. And so rather than pulling a blanket over our head and hiding underneath the covers, we're looking for some new ways to start moving forward in their businesses. And I'm wondering, what are you finding your clients are generally struggling with at this time, and what are you recommending that they do?
Yeah, it's obviously a tough time for everybody, and I think one of the things. Well, first of all, I want to say that I'm sending out my best wishes to everybody, and hope everybody's finding their own way of working through this, because the situation covers us all, but we're all dealing with it differently and in different situations. So I want to just say that to start with. What I'm finding is my clients, whether they're in a corporate world or whether they're home working, or whether they're entrepreneurs, people who work for themselves like real estate professionals, I'm finding that the common threads are certainly finding it a challenge, remote working and staying visible and remaining relevant and being heard. Certainly that's a challenge for a lot of, as well as obviously using technology that they've not necessarily been used to. But another main thing is not being able to be self-disciplined, not having a strategy, feeling like they're not structured, and really not being very productive. I'm finding that that's coming through an awful lot, which is understandable. You know, the days all merge into one. And it's changing habits. We all have a habit. We get up and go to work every day, and then we come home, or whatever it is, but we're having to change, and that's really taking its toll on people. So what I'm suggesting to a lot of my clients when I'm working one-to-one, and this is mainly with small business owners at the moment with the work that I'm doing, is really don't fight that. You know, this is a time of change. Look at how you can do things differently to how you've done before. Spend some time digging deep into the expertise you have, not just in real estate and negotiations and transactions and whatever it is that you do, but what is it that you really are an expert in other respects as well. Delve really deep into that expertise and your brand, and think about what it is that you can actually do for your clients right now, prospective clients, existing clients, that you weren't actually doing before, that they perhaps didn't need before. But is there something around, you know, you being a great connector, for example? Could you delve deeper into that? What's really important to you about your business right now? What is it that why do you do real estate? What's your real purpose? Delve deep into that and see if you can actually contact clients with some of that deep felt expertise that you bring, as well as your professional expertise. So spend time really looking at what your values are, also what differentiates you. What do you do differently or so much better than others in your field? You know, maybe you are also an expert in wine or something like that, or in food. Maybe you can think about doing some blogs and videos on those type of aspects as well. It's not all about our professional expertise right now. It's about being a valuable and visual public resource, I feel, to our clients, and how we can support them best right now. So that's what I'm telling people, and that will help you to perhaps have some structure. If you think about it slightly differently, how can I delve deep into my expertise?
Well, it's interesting. I would imagine that realtors, being people pleasers, are diverse in many backgrounds. I think that sharing that expertise is probably self-soothing as well as a great gift to their clients. Is that what you're seeing?
Yes, it is. And we've never had this situation before where we can really take control of our personal brand a little bit, or perhaps use it in a way we haven't done before. I spend my life, and have done way before this, and in the last 17 years, as you said, looking at what makes a difference with a brand today. And it's always people. It's how we interact with our clients, how we bring our own authenticity to the picture, our own uniqueness. And often it's not easy to do. We have to work through that. But right now we've got an opportunity where we can bring through those real differentiators, our personality, and delve deeper into what we bring, and think about how we make people feel. There was a great Maya Angelou quote when she once said, "I've come to realize that people will forget what I said, they'll forget what I did, but they'll never forget how I made them feel." And right now, I think we have got a massive opportunity to make our clients feel good. One of the biggest things in retail, and I think it translates to any business really, is that we lose clients through being indifferent and not really appearing to care on the surface. So right now, even though we can't easily be in a selling mode, and that what we normally are when we're working with clients, we can be in a mode of support and caring, and just checking in to see how things are. What can we do for you right now? How is this affecting you and your life and your business? And not being indifferent to them and their lives. I think that's something we can really capitalize on right now, and just be there as a resource.
I agree. That's brilliant. And just being the personable person that you are, I think, does so much to assuage concerns and fears in not just your clients, but also you take care of yourself doing the same thing.
Yes, you do. It's such a nice opportunity to be able to do this, to actually pick up a phone to somebody without having to be selling to them in any way. Just, we have the license right now to just do that. And from a branding point of view, what better time to really show who we really are at the core.
So let's hone in a little bit. What can real estate professionals be doing right now that can support their brand?
Okay, so as well as sort of delving deep into this expertise, so when I'm working with clients, what I do is get them to really think about what it is that they give to their clients. What do clients get from you when you work with them? What is it that they really feel? What are you changing in their lives? Really dig deep with that. So as well as doing that, it's once we've got that banner of what it is we want to be known for at a deep personal level, then we need to be visible with it. So again, this is going to help with structure in our day, because we don't have this structure so much at the moment, and this discipline. So if we can have a plan of what we want to get out there and how we want to be known, we can start to put things in place. So being visible with it. And what I mean by that is doing things that we may not have done before. Now, of course, I'm sure that everybody listening is doing their own thing about changing the way they work. And obviously we can't get into homes, and you can't do open houses as we did before and things. But think about doing short video. Think about doing a 1-minute video on Instagram, short videos that you could put onto a YouTube channel, just tips and maybe trends that are going on right now, any useful information, just to say, hey, I was reading this the other day, this article, my take on it is this, thought it might be useful for you to read about because I know that you're interested in this particular type of new home or whatever it might be, and just do a very short video and to be visible. People can see your face, you're making a connection, you're keeping on their radar, they remember you, and it's a personal thing. So I think video is something that's really important right now. So create that YouTube channel if you don't have one already. Also, one thing I'm doing quite a lot of is I use a system called BombBomb, BOMB.com, and it's a video email system, little app, and it integrates with your email system, and it allows you to create just a very short video rather than type text into an email. It allows people to see you. You can get across sentiment much easier, as we know, with voice and certainly with facial expression. So I'm using that a lot, and I'm finding that people will open the emails more and listen to the videos more than perhaps just a written email. So do that as well, and just share useful information, whatever that might be, relating to your differentiator tip perhaps. I don't know whether you're doing any of that yourself, Laurie, or not, but that would be one thing I would say, and I'll come back to some others in a minute.
Well, I just got a question from a realtor. Anna said, I'm starting going live on Facebook, and I found it very awkward to have kept my messages under 5 minutes. Any suggestions? And then she typed back in, I think you've just answered my questions with BombBomb and setting up your own video site on YouTube. So that was great.
Yeah, it's good. I mean,
I applaud Anna for getting on that already and making
Absolutely.
that motion. That's great.
Yeah, that's great. Well done, Anna. That's perfect. I mean, for Facebook Live, it can be difficult to, you get carried away with things as well. And whenever I'm coaching anyone to present, whether it's virtual or whether it's live, I would always urge you to think about maybe what your 3 key points are, and to have a structure with that. I create like a spider type diagram. So I'll put my 3 key points in the middle that I want to share. And then I'll think about what is the must-have information that I'm going to share, 1 point for each thing, or 1 piece of research, or 1 image, or whatever it might be, for one key message. And it helps you to have some structure, so you don't sort of meander off. And telling people up front that you're going to share 3 key points today, and they are A, B, and C, and then just do a succinct message for each one, actually keeps people's attention as well. So, having a structure that you can plan in advance for Facebook Live is important as well.
That's good. That's a good tip. I mean, for me as well, I tend to do some of those, and I find myself recording them 4 or 5 times just because I lack that compression of time. So just having that outline is a good thing. Well, what are some of the things that you've personally been doing in the past few weeks for your business that you can share with the realtors?
Yeah, so this is where maybe I tell you that I practice what I preach, perhaps. So first off, I'm again being very visible. So this is not a time to sell. So what I've tried to do is to keep in touch with my coaching clients, some of whom cannot afford to keep going with the coaching right now. So I'm just keeping in touch with them, recording a short video with some tips using BombBomb to say, hey, look, these are the things we were working on last time we spoke. Maybe think about doing X or think about doing Y. So I'm giving something back. And I think that's one of the key things at the moment. So I'm giving back to clients, giving back to people who aren't yet clients, and thinking in the same way, what can I give them that's helpful right now? And for real estate professionals, as I said, it could be trend information. It could be an article, a good news article that they've just heard about. I mean, there's lots of video clips right now. Is it John Krasowski from The Office is doing this good news channel. And I've sent that link to several people. Totally unrelated to what I do, but it's just good news. So I'm doing that. I'm doing a lot in the community. And I think this whole area we live in, this whole beautiful area, is such a great community anyway. And I've been giving back in terms of doing like 1 hour just drop in for chamber members, chamber of commerce members. So they just drop in and ask me any questions on branding. I did, a couple of weeks ago, I did a 2-hour workshop on keeping visible when you're remote working, that kind of thing. So it's a sort of thing I would do anyway, the topic area, but it's delving deeper into the skills that I've got to say what's really relevant right now. So those are some of the things I'm doing. I'm also doing mailings. So I have a postcard, walking tall postcard. I might write a little note on that to say, hey, was thinking about you the other day, hope all's well. It'd be something very personal to them. So I'm sending that. I think people like to have things through the mail. Sometimes when we're always used to, we're getting zoomed out, and everything's on, obviously it's digital and email and what have you, but having something through the mail is quite nice as well.
So like a personal card,
yeah,
a handwritten note.
Yep, handwritten. Yes. And if I can make it as personal as possible, making it about them rather than about you. And that's the thing that sticks. And what we're all trying to do is be of service right now in the right way. But also when we come out of this situation is being in the best possible position that we can be in, so that people remember us and have got to know us as well a little bit more perhaps for who we really are. So we're in a great position when we come through this. So yeah, making it as personal as possible. Also there's sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. What I was going to say is, so if you know that someone's just suffered a broken leg, or their child is getting ready to graduate from school, or promote, you just send that congratulatory note, just say, remember our conversation and this popped up into my head. I wanted to send you a note of gratitude. Or
absolutely, anything that's relevant. So really think about what's very specific to that person. Something they said last time, and I always encourage people anyway, when you're talking to clients or prospective clients, keep a note of something they said personal. You never know when you might need that. Also, with exams as they are at the moment, not happening as they perhaps have been, that's a great opportunity to call up a client with no other agenda than just saying, how did Johnny get on with his graduation, because we haven't heard anything, or what happened, did it get put on hold? And a genuine interest in that aspect in their life, which is a big thing to them right now. Absolutely. And nothing to do with selling or buying a home right now.
Okay, yeah, and I think that just staying ever present in mind. I know I like getting a note in the mail. A card is a dying art, I think, and when you receive one, it's like getting a little treasure. It's exciting.
It is. I always keep thank you notes. They're in my office. I keep them, and that's a really cool thing to have. There's a great app as well. I don't know how many of the listeners today will have heard of this, but it's called Touch Note, and it's just something I have on my phone. Very simple. You load credits up, but it allows you to take a photo of anything and mail it as a postcard or a greeting card to anywhere in the world. And it's quicker than mail, international mail, for example. It's also cheaper, I think, than buying a card and then mailing it. And you can put your own message on there, and it gets to anywhere in the world, in my experience, within 2 to 3 days. So you can take a photo of something in a shop window and say, hey, I saw this the other day, or I saw this quote on a book or whatever, and thought of you. So I thought I'd just send this through. That will always bring a smile to people's faces. They'll keep that card. They'll remember you. You're on the radar.
And it's called Touch Notes?
Touch Note, yeah. T-O-U.
That's fantastic. I love the idea of being able to really hyper focus on that personalization and take that picture yourself, so that it's not a mass-produced item.
Exactly. The more personal, I think the message is there, that the more personal we can make it, but the more we can make it about them and not us. That's the key right now. We then remain memorable. People love to have people interested in themselves. We all love that. Somebody remembers something about us that we didn't expect. It reminds me of a story actually that I share when I'm doing presentations and training sometimes. It was a few years ago, and I was coaching a guy who was a company secretary in a big FTSE 100 company, a big global role. And I was coaching him for the first time when my son had just got his place at university, but he hadn't got his accommodation sorted out. And this was in Cardiff in the UK. And the small talk before we started the session was around Max and his accommodation and this stressful situation that we hadn't got this sorted out. The next time I saw the guy for his second coaching session was about 8 weeks later. And the very first thing he said to me was, Lesley, tell me, how did Max get on at Cardiff University? Did he get his accommodation sorted out? Okay. I was just blown away that this very busy man could remember the situation and the details, Max's name and Cardiff, when it had no consequence to him whatsoever. And it just reminded me the power of making it about the other person and how you make them feel. And I think right now that's such an important message for all of us.
Absolutely. Well, so those are some of the things that you've been doing. And I'm sure a lot of the realtors have been diving in and trying to maintain contact with prospects as well as current clients and old clients. Even sometimes talking people off the edge. Obviously, trying to buy or sell a house right now is very stressful. Mm-hmm. Do you have any tips on how they can, just continue to assuage their clients, their concerns?
Yeah, I think some of what we've just said, but right now it's easier than ever to just be able to call up for no other reason than see how you are. In a normal course of events, normal days and situations, to call somebody up and just see how they are and how they're doing and how they're managing through this and the impact on them would be seen as a sort of way into selling to them in some way, because there's this hidden agenda kind of thing. But right now I feel like we have an opportunity to really genuinely call into someone and see how they're feeling and what impact it's had on their lives. And also, is there anything at all I can do to help and support and assist? What do you need right now? And it's a genuine thing. There doesn't have to be any hidden agenda. There's no reason for any hidden agenda for us to appear to be selling in a roundabout sort of way. We can actually do that. And I think that's where we could spend our time wisely right now in thinking about, how do I position that call? What is it that I could do for that person, not as a general blanket thing, but individually do that and check in on people. They'll always remember that.
Great, Lesley. Thank you. This is great information and a positive start for all of us. And especially if certain people haven't begun to implement new business tactics. Obviously, when the shelter in place mandate is ceased, we won't be getting to go back to business as normal as we've known it, but that we'll be working in a new normal. So I think that the tips that you're giving now are things that we can implement as we move forward.
Absolutely, yes, yeah, it's going to be different, and these are all good things to do anyway.
Yeah. So I think, I agree. Anytime that you can have that personal touch to the client, it builds that relationship all the further, more strongly.
Yes, it certainly does.
Well, if you have any further questions for Lesley, she has generously offered a 20-minute virtual appointment complimentary. Or if you want to talk to Lesley about coaching, see, we just put this up on the feed for you to see. This is her contact information. But if you want to talk to her about coaching, I know she'd be happy to talk to you about the services that she offers as well. Lesley, is this the best way for people to get a hold of you, or?
Yeah, what I'm offering right now is just this. This is a link here to my calendar, and I offer just totally complimentary 20-minute conversations that I can try and answer anything that's useful to you right now, any challenge you have with your business, with your brand. And we just have 20 minutes virtual coffee with no other agenda than what you need right now. So please take advantage of that. That calendly.com link there will take you through to the calendar for a 20-minute slot. So that's that one. The two websites of mine are there. One, the leslieeverett.com, is all about me as a speaker, and the other one is about our services at Walking Tall. And any specifics on coaching, we can discuss that after we've had a 20-minute complimentary call. There are various options that is very flexible if anybody wants to delve into this deeper and talk about their brand management of the business, right from content for websites and mission statements, brand statements, through to documentation and design. Anything that is a touch point for your note, for your brand, a touch point for your brand rather, we can talk that through as well. But the important thing is that there's the 20-minute complimentary virtual coffee. Happy to do that for anybody.
Oh, thank you. That's wonderful. Well, thanks everybody for joining in today. We wanted to be respectful of people's time. We were trying to keep this to a half an hour, and we're going to accomplish our goal. So Lesley, it was a pleasure having you with us, joining us for our Real Producers first virtual conference. And we just want to continue to add value to our realtors' relationships with their clients, with each other, to our preferred vendors. We hope that you get as much benefit from this conference and future conferences as we can give. And we just wish you success as we all move forward into this new normal. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all soon. So thanks again for coming, and be well.
Be well, everybody. Keep safe. Thank you, Laurie.
Thank you, Lesley.